Hey guys, finally, I've been waiting for this for the past 2 months and I was so excited about what this is all about and how it can change my work performance and how I work moving forward. If you are a business consultant, an entrepreneur, or somebody who needs to be on the move but get things done, you want to find out. Hey guys, by now you would have guessed that this is all about the new MacBook Air M2. I have been searching the internet on YouTube, and if you're like me, you will see a lot of review. When I was about to make my decision, I wanted to have a different perspective on why I should buy or shouldn't buy the MacBook. And I wanted to make this review to give you a different perspective. If you are somebody like me, who's a business consultant, who's an entrepreneur, maybe you have to work out of co-working space. You're not one of those that need to do a heavy video editing and social media content creation. Would you still make the decision to get this MacBook Air? Now, this is my perspective on why I got the MacBook Air. My first consideration that nobody talks about is before I got the new MacBook Air, I was in fact using the old MacBook Pro, and this was as old as 2016. And you are right, if you're like me, you would have hung on to your MacBook because it still worked. And why did I migrated to the new one anyway? The reason why I migrated because the transition from my old MacBook to the new MacBook Air in fact is a very simple one. Now that I have both in my hand, the MacBook Air in fact is lighter than my MacBook Pro. So that's what you get for the latest technology. And get this, you are seeing this firsthand. The new MacBook Air and MacBook Pro is essentially the same size. So if you have enjoyed having this kind of small form factor, you will enjoy the new MacBook Air. And I can even jog down memory lane. For some of you who is like me, I even had a very old generation of the MacBook Pro. How many of you remember carrying this brick around? Oh my goodness, can you see the difference and how Apple have transitioned? So I made the decision to get this simply because I have already become very comfortable traveling and becoming very mobile on a very effective and modern workstation. The other small things that not many people talk about, if you remember the old plug, it is big and bulky. The new plug is a little bit smaller, and when you choose to get the MacBook Air, you can actually choose the fast charging 65 watt with one plug, but it's fast charging, or what I chose in my hand, the lesser watt, which is I think 35 watt, but it has dual ports. Why I got this? How many of you would experience going to a coffee shop, going to be at the airport, and you don't have enough juice left for your iPad and also your iPhone, and maybe you have an iWatch and all your gadgets are at its bare minimum. And if you're like me, what I normally do while I wait for my plane, I would be relying on the battery that is there, right? But I would want to charge all my gadgets all at the same time. Now I have a plug that is smaller, lighter, and it has 2 ports. I personally feel that is a game changer because I don't want to be running around changing my plug from one phone to my laptop and then my laptop to my phone again. I want to be able to do all these things all at the same time. By now, you will realize today's review is all about how I make my decision. And it's about the practical side of things on what do I need today versus what I used to have. Now you see, again, my old MacBook Pro still works. However, it cannot keep up with today's technology. One of the other reasons that helped me make my decision is, if you are like me, today we have a lot more video meetings over Zoom, over Teams, over Google Meet, and sometimes I even take my calls over my Messenger, my FaceTime on my laptop. One of the main reasons why I migrated to a new one, because of two major things. It now has a 1080p camera. On top of that, Apple new OS has this thing called Center Stage. Now you need to check it out. I will be doing a review, maybe 1 week or 2 weeks after this, but philosophically, Center Stage allows me to move around and my laptop will be able to capture my movement as I go. This significantly enhances my productivity and who I am. On a day-to-day basis, I probably will have between 4 to 5 virtual meetings on top of my face-to-face meeting. But the big difference now, when I'm on my virtual meeting, I probably look more impressive. On top of that, with this form factor that is light and mobile, I now feel confident I can work out of anywhere. So the next reason why I chose the new MacBook Air is because of the connectivity. Number one, if you research, you understand by now I'm not a tech reviewer. So if you want to know the exact spec, please Google it up. I'm not going to tell you all about that. But let's talk about connectivity. On a day-to-day basis, your office, what would be your Wi-Fi bandwidth? It will be somewhere not lesser than 100 Mbps per second. I'm using about 300 at home, about 500 in the office. Did you know the Wi-Fi protocol have to be updated to fully maximize that interconnectivity? So that's also the other reason I want to make sure that for more high volume usage like video conferencing, I want to have the best Wi-Fi and the best connectivity. Number two reason on connectivity, by now you would have seen that the MacBook MagSafe is back. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you how happy I am with this advancement. Now, for a lot of practical people, it's not so much about the MagSafe feature that you trip on the wire, but it's more about the port that you have. You have the charger and retaining the extra 2 USB-C port. The other thing about what people forget to tell you, my 2016 USB-C is using the old technology, USB 2.0, and what we have now is USB 3.0. The transfer rate, the upload and download rate is significantly more. Again, our use case has changed tremendously. I use maybe a webcam. I sometimes will attach my camera when I'm doing a video recording like this. Sometimes I will have to charge my phone, my watch, my iPad. I have a second screen that uses the HDMI. You get the drill. If I continue to use my old MacBook Pro, I can already feel and sense that the productivity has dropped and will continue to drop. The ecosystem and the use case will change significantly, and the gadget that you buy will require your Mac to be up to date as well. So if you're like me, you need to make a decision. Make the decision based on the current compatibility and how much longer would you want your Mac to last. I have the confidence for an M2, it can last me easily another 3 to 3 years. because of my use case. I will be traveling a lot now that the COVID restriction is over. We have moved from a pandemic to an endemic. I will be traveling more. I will be working out of co-working spaces. I can't tell you how happy I am about the transition. Now that I have it on my hand, I feel that the decision is the right decision. Number one, I think I will not feel the difference. All the things that I've been using for my old MacBook Pro, I can use it with my new MacBook Air. The dongle that you probably have, the charging ports, the external hard disk drive, you can use all that. It just makes sense why I should migrate to the new one. Of course, there's one downside. The number one downside is the cost to this. There's a reason why this is the most popular Mac ever. It's because if you're like a businessman, you don't want to be changing your iPad and changing, transferring your data on a year-to-year basis. You want value for money. It is not a cheap machine, but if you depreciate it over 3 years, per year you're talking about $500? And I suppose $500 for a whole year can be considered cheap. So I hope you like this review on the philosophy why I make the decision to change to a MacBook Air M2. Is because of the physical form. It meets my demand. It meets my usage where I'm traveling. I need it to be small, nimble, and light. And it comes with double port, very practical. And transition to use the things that I've used before, it is seamless. The power of the processor, the connectivity, the things that I can now use with this Mac is up to date with what I am using currently. The video conferencing, the faster bandwidth, you name it. And last but not least, the value. I bought this machine simply because I'm very confident that it will give me the value for at least 3 to 4 years. So if you would like to know more on my review after I use it, so this is the first time I'm unboxing this. If you would like to know how I truly feel and what is the difference between my old Mac and my new Mac, stay tuned, right? I will probably tell you about how I feel about it in my next video. My last message on this review is, I think for us to continue to be competitive, we need to make sure that we are upgrading ourselves with the right tool. We have to upgrade ourselves with the technology that allow us to be better, to surpass yesterday. I am a big advocate for the 21st century leader and having this athlete thinking. And I think having the right partner and the right tool just makes it so much easier. So let me know what you think. Do you agree? Have you bought this? I would really love to know more about your use case. Other than that, I will see you in the next review after I use this for about a couple of weeks. I will see you again soon.